How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. The Packers' first OTA practice open to the media was today. They started OTAs yesterday, but today was the first one open to the media. So in today's video, I'm going to go over the biggest takeaways from today's practice. I also just released the video highlights from today's practice, so if you want to go watch that video, it's right on my channel. Just click the link right above if you want to go watch that after this video. And if you happen to be a new viewer to this channel, I'm going to post highlights and recaps from every practice that is open to the media, and that goes for OTAs, then into training camp later in the summer. So if that does interest you and you want Packers updates every single day on their practices throughout this offseason as well as highlights, I'd really consider going down, clicking that subscribe button, and also leaving a like on the video to show support to the channel. So in today's video, like I said, we're going to go over the biggest takeaways from today's OTA practice. It was an unpadded practice, of course, with just the helmet on. So obviously, the pads aren't on, and it's still May. It's still May, so a lot is going to change from now until week 1. So we can't really get too much out of these practices, but we're starting to see some things unfold in terms of who's starting where and what players are starting to look like, and of course getting our first eyes on the entire rookie class and undrafted free agent class. So firstly, I want to go over all the players that were not present at OTAs as they are voluntary. We'll start with Jair Alexander, then to Rasul Douglas, David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins, Preston Smith, John Garvin, and Dallin Levitt. Now, Levitt, Bach, Jenkins, and Smith have been there most of the entire offseason, so it's likely just not showing up to the OTAs, maybe resting, because again, it is voluntary. So a lot of defensive starters were not present today, and then also 2 on the offensive line with Bakhtiari and Jenkins. Now, the players that were at OTAs but weren't practicing due to injury, so they were rehabbing or were only limited: Eric Stokes, Lou Nichols, Jake Hansen, Grant DeBose, and Jean Delance. Rashawn Gary was limited, but actually did do some jog throughs in 11 versus 11 team period. So really nice to see him in the month of May already doing that. Seems like he is way ahead of schedule. I still believe we won't see him until after week 6, but it's still nice to see him above schedule. Obviously, we want Rashawn Gary back as soon as possible. He adds so much to that defense and so much to that edge room, and he's one of our best defenders. We also have a new signing today. The Packers have signed yet another wide receiver, Jadakis Bonds, a 6'3" undrafted wide receiver out of Hampton. He had over 2,700 yards and 34 touchdowns in his 40 games at Hampton, including 10 touchdowns last season in 2022. So adding another player to that wide receiver room, it's going to be a big battle this offseason. That room is now at a total of 11 players, including 6 rookies. You would say there are a few locks in that wide receiver room: Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Tay Wicks, and maybe even Samori Toure. I know Jason Vrabel has been praising Samori Toure, and I'm a huge fan of him. I don't know if he's necessarily a roster lock, considering it's so early in the offseason. He was a 7th round pick last year, so I wouldn't say he's a roster lock, but I would certainly expect him to make the 53-man roster. So I feel like all of those guys are locks, and it's definitely going to be a fight for the 5th to 6th or even 7th spot at wide receiver. The Packers' corresponding move to signing wide receiver Jadakis Bonds was releasing tight end Nick Guggemos. Now I wanted to go over the starting offense and defense during team drills, and again, this is super early. This is in May, so this doesn't mean too much. A lot of this could change. Obviously, quarterback 1 was Jordan Love. At running back, we have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. At wide receiver 1 and 2 was Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. DeGuara did start at tight end, but Luke Musgrave did get some work in with the number 1s. As for the offensive line, with Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins out, it went left tackle Josh Nijman, Royce Newman left guard, Josh Myers at center, John Runyon Jr. at right guard, and Zach Tom at right tackle. Packers' second-year player Sean Ryan actually got some reps at center, which is definitely something new, so they're trying to see who can maybe, offer competition at that center position against Josh Myers. And then Zach Tom also got reps at right guard as well. We know Zach Tom can pretty much play anywhere on that offensive line. As for the starting defense, we saw Kenny Clark and TJ Slayton on the defensive line, Kingsley Enagbare and Justin Hollins at edge. Obviously, with Rashawn Gary with the injury and Preston Smith not at OTAs, we see Hollins getting the start at edge there. We saw Devondre Campbell and Isaiah McDuffie starting at inside linebacker. Quay Walker was seen off to the side, kind of working through team drills on his own, 40 yards behind the play, going through the motions, but he was also seen limping, so who knows what that exact injury is right now. We don't really have an update on that, but once there is one, I'll update you guys with that as well. As for cornerback, basically all the starters were not there today. Jair Alexander, Rasul Douglas, and then of course Eric Stokes kind of still rehabbing. So the corners starting today were Keyshawn Nixon, Keandre Thomas, and Corey Ballantyne, and the starting safeties to start today was Darnell Savage and Rudy Ford. As for the key takeaways for the Packers offense in today's OTA, it was a slow slow start for Jordan Love, but he picked it up in the end during the red zone drills mainly. He finished 6 of 16, 4 touchdowns, had 3 balls batted down, 1 dropped, and 1 nearly picked off by Devondre Campbell. For those touchdowns, he found Samori Toure, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Romeo Doubs. And Matt LaFleur said after practice, Love had a lot of good things and a lot to clean up. And I feel like it's going to be like this all offseason. There's going to be some practices where Jordan Love goes out there and just completely lights it up. And there's going to be some practices where he struggles. It's going to be an up and down, season for Jordan Love, in my opinion. There's going to be some lows, there's going to be some highs, and we're going to have to get used to that. But overall, I am confident in Jordan Love, and I believe this season, I think the Packers are going to be better than a lot of the media is portraying them to be. It was a nice day for the wide receiver group as a whole. Christian Watson, Dobbs, Toure, Reed, and Wicks all with touchdowns. Wicks' touchdown wasn't from Love. It was actually from Danny Etling, but all the other guys, they had touchdowns from Jordan Love. But during warmups, Love did find Tay Wicks on a 55-yard bomb. Really, really nice thrown ball. A nice catch by Tay Wicks. Found out today he prefers to be called Tay Wicks over Dontavian Wicks. So from here on out, we'll be going with Tay Wicks. Then for the key defensive takeaways, as I said earlier, a lot of starters were missing today. They started strong, winning on the first few plays, but then did start to struggle in the red zone. As I mentioned earlier, Jordan Love started to get hot in the red zone and started to throw a decent amount of touchdowns. So the defense started really strong, but then started to struggle in the red zone. Keyshawn Nixon had a very nice day starting at cornerback. With Jair, Rasul, and Stokes out, Nixon was pushed right into cornerback 1, and he had a really nice day even covering Christian Watson, batting up a ball there. I'm excited for Keyshawn Nixon this year on defense. Obviously, we know what we have with him as a returner, an all-pro returner, one of the best returners in the NFL, but I think he's going to get a lot more snaps this year on defense, especially at that slot cornerback role, and I think he is, prepared to do so, and I think he will be good on that defense. And then finally, Packers first-round rookie Lucas Van Ness getting plenty of playing time in today's OTA. He had a couple of would-be sacks, and he's playing fast and playing strong. So those are all the main takeaways from the first OTA session open to the media. Again, it wasn't a padded practice, just a helmet, and again, it is only May. So we really can't overreact on a bunch of things. We can only take away some of the things and just move forward into the offseason and continue on in the turnaround of this football team, from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, and just how young the football team is as a whole. We have a long way to go until week 1, but it starts here in OTAs. But that about does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Those are just the main takeaways from today. Like I said, there's not much. It was a light practice and all that. But if you did enjoy this video, go down and click the like button. It supports my channel a ton. But I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.